Hello students, welcome to this session. I've just solved this test 101 of JEE Main, and here I am with the analysis of the physics section. Question number 9 is for triode, and I think that is out of syllabus. 4 questions I have classified as tough. You might not feel them as tough. 9 were medium, 11 were easy. So it's a normal difficulty level paper where you have good easy questions where you can score, and there are few questions that requires lengthy calculations also. So going by my rule 11 and let's say 15 questions, so I expect 55 at least marks to be scored. Anyone who is looking to score in physics, because now you are very close to the examination, you have that extra time, so you must have prepared, I suppose. And those very good should get 80 plus in this particular paper. So that was my analysis. Now look at the paper. So let's begin. See the first question. The effective resistance between points P and Q is. So let me see that, let's say this is also P, this is also Q, and let's say this point is M, and let's say this point is N. So first redraw it. I can see it's a balanced Wheatstone bridge, but you might not see, so just redraw it. PQ, M and N. So this is between P and N, so this is R. This is between P and M, let's say this is R. This is again this is between M and Q, this is R. This is between M and N, that is R, and Q and N, let's say this is R. So this is a balanced Wheatstone bridge, and one is between P and Q. I can connect like this last one. So what we have, this is a balanced bridge, so this is R, and this R is in parallel, so it becomes R by 2. So R equivalent is R by 2 for this particular case. Next, consider the two following statements 1 and 2 and identify the correct choice given in the answers. In photovoltaic cell, the photoelectric current produced is not proportional to the intensity of the incident light. No, we know in a photoelectric effect based any device, photocurrent is directly proportional to the intensity of light. So first statement is definitely false. In a gas-filled photoemissive cells, the velocity of photoelectrons depends on the wavelength of the incident radiation. Yes, you know, it depends on the wavelength of the incident radiation, because lesser the wavelength, more would be the kinetic energy. So 1 is false and 2 is true. Go for option D. Next, the mass m on a surface of earth is shifted to a target equal to the radius of the earth. If r be the radius, m be the mass, then the work done in the process you have done is very many times. W external would be delta U. So finally the energy would be, because it is shifted to equal to radius of earth, that it would become 2r, r plus r, and initially it was minus gmm by r, so minus will become plus gmm by r. So it comes out as gmm by 2r, and now multiply and divided by r, and write this gm by r square as a small g. This comes out as mgr by 2. I think this is 4th or 5th time this question is being asked in these NTA tests. Gas is undergoing an adiabatic process. A certain stage, the volume and absolute temperature V0, T0, magnitude of the slope of the curve is m. Molar specific heat of the gas at constant pressure. Again, this is a question you must have done in your practice sheets. So in an adiabatic process, the equation between T and V reads Tv to the power gamma minus 1 is constant. So if I need to plot the slope, so if I do this dV by dt, so if I divide it by differentiate it with respect to t, V to the power gamma minus 1 into 1 plus T into gamma minus 1 into V to the power gamma minus 2 dV by dt would be equal to 0. So this dV by dt, or the slope you call it, that would be equal to minus V upon T, and this would be 1 upon gamma minus 1. This is what you are going to get. So the magnitude of the slope m would be equal to V upon gamma minus 1 T, which is given in your question. Now the molar specific heat of the gas at constant pressure is going to be, and this value at this point is V0 T0. So at this particular point, this is V0 T0 upon gamma minus 1 is m. Now the molar specific heat at constant pressure, you write at Cp is gamma r upon gamma minus 1, that you write. So if I have to write it in terms of this, so first of all what it will be, first of all let me write Cv you write it as r upon gamma minus 1. So 1 upon gamma minus 1 I can take it from here, so it is r m T0 by V0, so this would be Cv plus r. So what we have, r is common, m T0 upon V0 plus 1 you will get, so it is r m T0 plus V0 upon V0. Now look at these options. I think this option C is the most perfect one we are getting. Next, two metallic spheres S1 S2 made of the same material got the identical surface finish. Mass of S1 is thrice of S2. Both the spheres are heated to the same high temperature, placed in same room having lower temperature but are thermally insulated. The ratio of initial rate of cooling of S1 to that of S2 is. So here if I write that rate of cooling law, that is minus dT by dt is sigma EA upon ms into T to the power 4 minus T naught to the power 4. This is same, this is same, this is same, this is same, but because mass is different, so area and this will also be different. So because they are of the same material, mass is proportional to volume, or you can say proportional to r cube, area is proportional to r square, sorry. So this minus dt by dt you can directly say would be equal to 1 by r. And because we have the mass of S1 is thrice, and we know the mass ratio m1 by m2 would be equal to r1 by r2 to the power 3. So r1 by r2 would be equal to 2 by 1 to the power 1 by 3. You can write it like this. So the rate of cooling minus dt by dt for 1 to minus dt by dt for second S1 or S2 would be r2 by r1, that would be 1 upon 2 to the power 1 by 3, sorry, it is thrice, okay. So it is 1 upon 3 to the power 1 by 3. Go for option D in this particular case. Next, spherical hole is made in a solid sphere of radius r. The mass of the sphere before hollowing was m. The gravitational field at the center of the hole due to the remaining masses. So first of all, check due to complete field. Due to complete, if it was due to the complete sphere, the gravitational field you can directly write that would be equal to minus gm r by 2 vectorially. So I just skipping this minus sign, r by 2 upon r cube, and this would be directed towards this would be E due to complete. Now E due to this cavity at the center is going to be 0, so therefore E due to remaining one will be same, because it is E remaining would be E complete minus effect of the cavity, so it remains the same. So answer is going to be the same, it is going to be gm by 2r square, that is the due to complete one, it is the same gm by 2r square. Go for option C in this particular case. Next, the current I in the coil varies with the time as shown in the figure, okay, the variation of induced EMF. So here current is increasing, here it is increasing, here it is constant, so here EMF is going to be 0. So here it is going to be 0, so in between is 0, so okay, all options has 0, okay. It is increasing at uniform rate, so E would be constant, and here E will be constant, but here it is increasing, decreasing, so sign will be opposite. So signs will be opposite and constant. So going by this, I think the first one is looking as the very nice. So first one is the answer that I'll go for, that is the perfect one we can go for. Here it is increasing, so opposing EMF, here it is decreasing, so it is supporting EMF. So that's the best option you can have. Now, electric charge plus q moves where it is moves with velocity v equals to this in an electromagnetic field, this and this. The y component of the force experienced by plus q is going to be, okay. So first of all, electric force, if I check, that would be that y component Fey, I can directly say, no need to calculate the complete forces. Fey would be equal to what we can say q into 1, so that is q, that is equal to q. Now Fby, first of all Fb you write it as q v cross b. So if I solve it, q v cross b would be like this, I j k, that thing you do 3 4 1 1 1 3. So the k component, so I have to need to check only the k component would be, k component is q, this would be 3 minus 4, so that is equal to if I am right, y component, sorry, not k component, I am calculating the k1, y means j1, so that would be minus, we write initially, and 3 3s are 9 minus 1, so it will q, so it will become as it would be minus 8q. So if I add up, it comes out as minus 7q. Go for option A in this particular case. Now the next one, question number 9, we will be going. Amplification factor of a triode is 50. Again, this is out of syllabus. If a grid potential is decreased by 0.2 volts, the what increase in plate potential will keep the plate current unchanged. So it is actually out of the syllabus, so no point in doing this, I am leaving it. There's no point, I'll check the formula and solve you, because I didn't even study this. This is not in syllabus and not going to come for surely until unless the examiner is someone who don't know what is the syllabus is. An ideal gas is enclosed in a vertical cylindrical container, supports a freely moving piston of mass m, that means piston is free to move. Piston and the cylinder have an equal cross-sectional area A, the atmospheric pressure is P0, and when the piston is in equilibrium, the volume is V0. The piston is now displaced slightly from its equilibrium position, assuming that the system is completely isolated. What is the frequency of oscillation? An ideal gas is enclosed in a vertical cylindrical container. What it is? Okay, they have typed it 2 times. Okay, no issues. So atmospheric pressure piston is now displaced slightly from equilibrium position. Assume the system is completely isolated. That means there would be no heat exchange from the surroundings. So we can directly say this is going to be an adiabatic thing to go for. So first of all, in equilibrium, what we can say, the pressure is going to be, in equilibrium, pressure is going to be P naught plus mg by A for sure. Now on slightly displacing it, let's say where you have displaced, displace anywhere, let's say you have put it inside, so volume will decrease. So volume decrease, let's say, is minus ADX. So we can directly write, because it is a adiabatic one, no heat exchange is happening, so dP by dV you can write it as minus gamma P by V. So dP would be equal to, this is negative, negative will become positive, gamma P was P naught plus mg by A, V was V naught, and this becomes A times dx, you can write it. So that is A times dx. So what would be the force acting? The force that is going to be acting would be, we can say that force dF would be equal to dP into A. So dP into A, so dP into A, if you will write, it will become as minus gamma P naught plus mg by A into A square upon V naught into dx. So this force is proportional to this minus dx, or proportional to this x displacement, what you can write. So this is an SHM you can directly go for, and this angular frequency is going to be under root of gamma P naught A square plus mg A you can write, and this would be equal to V naught and m, because acceleration you have to write. So this would be like this. So this is gamma, so frequency would be gamma by 2 pi, so omega by 2 pi, sorry. So this is the first option you will go for here. Next one, when uranium is bombarded with 1 neutron, fission occurs and the protons are 3 neutrons. So simple question for you. So writing this, what we have, 1 neutron bombarded to 235 uranium leads 3 neutrons, it should be 3 times neutron, I should write 3 neutrons, krypton 94 Kr 36 plus you have this question mark thing. So what would be these two numbers? So we know this is the conservation of charge, so this is 92 here, this is 36 here. So 92 minus 36, 12 minus 6 is 6, 9 minus 3, 8 minus 3 is 5, so this would be 56. So this number is 56, so we are left with two choices. Now this is 1 and 235, 236, this is 1 and 3 it is, and 94, so it is in 97 and it is 236. So if I subtract it out, 236 minus 97, 16 minus 7 would be 9, 22 minus 9 is going to be, let me just, 16 minus 7 is 9, and this is, sorry, this is 2, 12 minus 9 is going to be 3, sorry, so this is 139. So 139.56, that is the option that I am getting, 139.56, so go for option C. So not a tough one for you, simple add and subtract. Block is held stationary at the position shown in the figure over the surface of a solid paraboloid. What should be the magnitude of the velocity needed to be given to the block at this point such that it moves along the surface of the paraboloid without having any normal reaction anywhere? Okay. R is given as root 2h, h is equal to 10h by 3. So R is equal to root 2h, this is what we are given here. So how to do this? Let's say, now since no normal reaction acts here, so I can treat it like I have thrown it with some speed u here, and now it reaches with speed v, and it is going on this parabolic path, assuming it is under free fall. So if it is under free fall, we know this projectile thrown from a height, if we solve this, we know, let's say if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, you know at any time t, this is x comma y, x coordinate would be written as ut and y coordinate would be written as half gt square. So y coordinate you can write it as half g x square by u square. So writing this point p lies on this, so y coordinate is h, that is gr square by 2 h square 2u square, sorry, not h square, it would be 2u square. But use the speed at o, we need to calculate the speed at p. So let's say u square, I can write it as gr square upon 2h, and this vp square would be u square plus 2gh using energy conservation. So take this g common, it is r square by 2h plus 2h, and what is r square? R square is 2h from there, so what we will have, this will become 2h square, sorry, so r square is 2h square, so this will become h plus 2h, that is 3h, so it is 3gh. So 3gh, what is h? H is 10 by 3, So yes, okay, so this is Vp coming out as 10 meter per second. Go for option C. So it's a nice question, you have to imagine it like that, but it's not going to be easy, I suppose. Next, force F is applied at the top of an equilateral triangle of mass m. The minimum coefficient of friction required to topple the block before translation. So it should topple up before translation. So for toppling, this would be the point that I am considering. About this, it will topple up. So I know about this centroid, this mi, we know of this plate is ma square by 6, we have done it many times, and this shift, this length you know is equal to 2 by third of root 3 a by 2, so it comes out as a by root 3, so it is m, so I about this c would be ma square by 6 plus ma square by 3, so this comes out as ma square by 2. Now when it is about to topple, the normal will act from this point, so friction will act from this point, so they will produce no torque, so torque will be only of F, so F into this length root 3 a by 2 in limiting case would be equal to mg into a by 2. So this F in this case is going to be, what you can write is, this F is going to be mg by root 3, you can write it as mg by root 3, that is what is required to topple. Now for translatory motion, F should be greater than equal to mu s n, which is mu s mg. So F here mg by root 3 should be less than this mu s mg. So first of all, this, what is mu s mg? So mu s is mu s mg. Okay, so this is what we need to remember. So what we should have here, mg by root 3 should be less than this mu s mg. So what we have, mu s should be greater than 1 by root 3, that is what I am getting for option C here. Mu s should be greater than 1 by root 3 so that it topples before it translates. Next, string is fixed at both ends as a standing wave mode for which the distance between adjacent nodes is 18, but the distance between adjacent nodes, that is lambda by 2, is 18, so lambda is 36. For the next I think for the next consecutive wave mode, this lambda becomes 32. So what would be the possible length? So what we know, L is equal to n times lambda by 2 for the string fixed at both ends. So L is n times lambda by 2, that is n times 18, and for the next n plus 1 times 16. So what I can say, n plus 1 times 16 is equal to n times 18. So 8 by 9 is n upon n plus 1, so n comes out as 8. So n is definitely coming out as 8. So the minimum possible length of the string would be 8 times this 18. So 18 8s are, 8 8s are 4, 64, 8 1s are 8, 144 centimeters. Go for option A in this case. Uniform circular disc, radius r, mass m. Particle also of mass m fixed at A on the edge of the disc as shown in figure. The disc can rotate freely about a fixed horizontal chord PQ, that is at a distance r by 4 from the center. Line AC is perpendicular to PQ. Okay, initially disc is at vertical with point A at the highest point, is then allowed to fall that it starts rotating about PQ. Find the linear speed as it reaches the lowest position. Simple question of energy conservation. So finally this will be like this. This will be like this. Here you can write this, it would be like this. So the Cm will go, this Cm will shift by r by 2, so the loss in potential energy of this disc would be mg r by 2, and this A will fall by 5r by 4 because it was 5r by 4 above, 5r by 4 down. So it is 5r by 4 plus 5r by 4, that is mg into 5r by 2. That is the loss, and that would be equal to half I omega square, I of system. Now what is I of system? I of system, first of all, disc about this Cm axis or diametric would have been mr square by 4, so shifted by m r by 4 whole square. So it is mr square by 16, so it is mr square by 16, so it comes out as 5 mr square by 16 of the disc 1, and of the particle it would be m into 5r by 4 whole square, that is 25 mr square by 16, so it comes out as 30 I can write it 15 mr square by 8. So putting up this, what we get, 1 by 2 plus 5 by 2, 3 mgr is half into 15 mr square by 8 into omega square. So m to m, r to r, so omega square is 8 to the 16, and this is, let's say, 5, so 16 by 5 g by r, that is what I am getting. This is omega square is 16 g by 5 r that we get in this particular case. Okay, so let me write omega is equal to like this. Now the linear speed of the particle, it would be omega into its distance is 5r by 4, so it is root of 16 g by 5r into 5 of r by 4, so the 4 and 4 will cancel up, this will, and this will directly be written as root 5 gr. You can make it out. So what it is, root 5 gr. So out of the options I have not taken this screenshot complete. It is root 5 gr given, so go for option D here. Next one, we have 4 particles mass mq held at the vertices of a square of the side A. They are released at t equal to 0 and move under mutual repulsive forces. Speed of any particle when distance from the center of the square doubles. So what we can say, symmetry, all will have the same speed. And what is the loss in the energy? Initial electrical energy that we can write for this pair is 4 terms is kq square by A, the 2 terms is diagonal terms 2 kq square by root 2A. And finally, when the distance is doubled, the formula remains same, but A becomes 2A plus 2 kq square upon 2 root 2A. That is what you are going to write. So the delta U, or you can say the delta U loss, you can say loss, if I write it is ui initial minus u final, it will come out as this term only, 4 kq square by 2A plus 2 kq square by root 2A, 2 root 2A, because this one is double of that. So there is a u final, and that delta U loss would be equal to delta K gain, and delta K gain would be 4 times half mv square. So what we get now, this v square thing, this is 2mv square, so divided by, let me write first like this, this is 2 kq square by A, this comes out as kq square by root 2A. So what we are left with, v square is going to be k, I can write as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, q square I can take as common, and ma I can take as common. It would be 1 plus 1 upon 2 root 2. So I think the first option coming out to be the most appropriate one to me. Let's say this is A. Next, point object moves on a circular path such that the distance covered is like this. The ratio of the magnitude of acceleration at 2 second and 5 second is this. Then the ratio of the radius of the circle. Now the ratio of the magnitude of acceleration means complete acceleration. First of all, this is distance. So velocity at any instant is ds by dt. Speed, you can say, that would be t plus 2. So tangential acceleration at any point, that is dv by dt, simple speed derivative, that is 1. Now at t equal to 2 seconds, what would be AC? AC would be v square by r, that is 4 square by r, or you can write 16 square by r. At t equal to 5 seconds, AC would be 5 plus 2, 7, 7 square is 49 by r. So now at t equal to 2 second, net acceleration would be 1 square plus 16 square, that is 256 by r square, and it would be 1 square plus 49 square by r square, that is going to be equal to 1:2. Square it up. So 4 into 1 plus 256 by r square is equal to 1 plus 49 into 49 by r square. So do this. This is 4 minus 1 will give me 3. 49 into 49 minus 256 into 4 by r square. So r square is 49 into 49. So do this, 49 into 49, if I'll do 49 9s is 441, 49 4s is 196, and 44 2401 minus 256 into 4, that would be 4 6 are 4, 22 2, this is 1024 upon 3, 11 and 4 is 7, 9 and 2 is 7, 4, and this is 1477 by 3. This is what I am getting. This is 427. This is not completely coming out, I think. So it is let me check my calculations again. So, okay, here I have done this mistake because this was carried away, so it was 1377. So now 417 is 527, 459 that we are getting. And if I do this, if it comes in 9, yes, it is 9 times 51. So r would be 3 times root of 51. Again, a very calculative one. Go for option B. Time taking exercise for us. Speed, acceleration, force are considered as fundamental units. The dimension of Young's modulus will be. So Young's modulus is stress, that is force upon area, that is what you write, that is F upon L square type of thing you can have. Or you can say F is what you have, ml t minus 2 over this L square. So this is m, it is m L minus 1 t minus 2, that is you can write ml minus 1 t minus 2, that is what you need. Now v is what you have, v is you know is lt minus 1, acceleration you know is lt minus 2, and f you know is mlt minus 2. So to get m there should be one f, so f should be 1 power only, so these two are rejected. So f is power 1, so we get this L, we need L minus 1. So a into v should be something like it should get L minus 1. So if I take this as minus 4 and minus 2, no, it would come L minus 6. And if I take it as minus 4 and 2, so it will give it L minus 2, and L into L minus 2 will be L minus 1. Yes, so this would be D. The standard way, you know, I have just done by introspection. This is option D I am getting. Next, the energy that should be added to an electron to reduce its de Broglie wavelength from 1 nano to 0.5. So we know lambda is 1 upon, or you can say h upon root 2 mk or E. So lambda is 1 by root E. So to lambda to become half, this root E should you can directly say you can write E is proportional to 1 by lambda square. So if it is half, so it would be 4 times, so it should be added energy should be thrice the initial energy, that therefore it becomes 4 times. Next, spherical drop of water has radius 1 millimeter. If the surface tension of the water is this, difference of pressure between inside and outside, that's an easy one for you. Drop is 2s by r, 2 into 70 into 10 raised to power minus 3 divided by 10 to the power minus 3. So it is 140 Newton per meter square. That's a very easy one for you. Now the numerical ones. Find the center of mass of the shaded portion of the disk of radius 24 centimeter. So you remember this is r by 6. I am not going to do this. You remember this would be r by 6 away from it. So this would be 4 centimeter. Directly I am going the standard way. You all know this is a very standard question. Next, standard cell of 1.08 volt is balanced by a potential difference across 90 centimeter of 1 meter long wire supplied by 2 volt through a series resistor of 2 ohm. If the internal resistance of the cell is 0, then the resistance per unit length of the wire will be. So what we can say, 90 centimeters, so 0.9 meter has a drop of 1.08 volt. So the 1 meter complete drop would be 1.08 by 0.9. That comes out as basically, if I do it, it would be 1.2 volts. I can directly say it would be 1.2 volts. So that means the drop across the potentiometer wire is 1.2 volts. That means the resistance of potentiometer upon Rp plus 2 into 2, that is the share of the voltage it will get in that series combination, is 1.2. So this is a 0.6 I can say. So Rp is 0.6 Rp plus 1.2. So 0.4 Rp is 1.2. So Rp is 3. So it is 3 ohm and this is 1 meter. So I can directly go for 3. That is the answer here. Next one. 3 rods made of the same material having the same cross section are joined as shown in figure. Each has the same length. What is the temperature at the junction? So let the temperature of the junction be T. Let the heat comes here H1. Let the heat comes here H2, and let that comes there, it goes there H3. So using that junction law, H1 plus H2 is H3. Now H1 and H2 would be identical. I can directly write 2 times 90 minus T upon resistance, let's say R, because all are same. I can write thermal resistance is R. H3 would be equal to T minus 0 by R. So what we have, this R and R get cancelled. 180 minus 2T is equal to T. So T directly comes out as 60 degree. You can directly go for this would be 60. Next, a thin plano-convex lens fits exactly into a plano-concave lens with the plane surfaces parallel to each other. Radius of curvature of the curved path is 30 centimeter. The lens is made of different materials. If the plane surface is silvered, then calculate the equivalent focal length of the mirror that is formed. So first of all, this focal length 1 upon f1 would be 3 by 2 minus 1, 1 upon infinity minus 1 upon r. R is what you are given as. This would be 30 centimeters. So it would be 1 by 2 into minus 1 by 30. So this is minus 1 by 60 that you get as 1 by f1. 1 by f2 would be 5 by 4 minus 1. It would be 1 upon 30 minus 1 upon infinity. So this comes out as 1 by 4, 1 by 120. Now the equivalent mirror focal length would is going to be 1 upon fm minus 2 times 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2 you can write. So mirror is infinite, so this is going to be 0 because it is a plane mirror. Minus 2, 1 upon f1 is a minus 1 by 60, this is 1 by 120, so it becomes 2 by 60 minus 1 by 60. You can directly write it like this, so it would be 1 by 60. So this is 60 centimeter is the equivalent focal length of this system as a mirror. Next, beam of light consisting of two wavelengths 650, 520 used to obtain fringes in YDSC. What is the least distance where the bright fringes due to both will coincide? So we say for the first one we have the positions of the maxima as n1 lambda 1 d by d, and for that we have n2 lambda 2 d by d. So this d goes. So what we have, the first one will be n1 by n2 is lambda 2 by lambda 1, that is 520 by 650. This comes out as 4 by 5. So it's fourth and it's fifth. So for the fourth one, 4 lambda 1 d by d you can directly say. So lambda 1 is 650 into 10 to the power minus 9, d is 1.5 in meters, and this is 3 into 10 to the power minus 3. So what we have, this is 0.5, so 0.5 into 4 is 2, 650 into 2 will give me 1300 into 10 to the power minus 6, and this is what we have to write. We have to write the in meters. So 1300 into 10 to the power minus 6, so it would be point, what should I write, 0013 in meters, that is I'm getting. Let me check if I'm done something wrong, or let me do it again or try it again. 615 nano, 10 to the power minus 9, this is 10 to the power minus 3, so yes, 10 to the power minus 6, 1300, yes, it is 0.0013 meters I can write, and if it would be in millimeters then it would be 1.3. so as per here, answer should be 0.0013. if you write in millimeter it would be 1.3. so this was today's paper. Thanks for watching. Keep preparing, exams are very near.